Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So as you can see, my location of the my shooting of the videos is changing. I'm trying to find a good location for the next few days while I have until I get my old location back. So I'm at the library right now. There's a study room, so I'm shooting the videos from there. Hopefully this works. Okay, so I've been listening to chapter 3 a lot. As I said, that's my project. I've said in my previous videos, that's a project that I'm working on to dive deep into chapter 3, along with this one verse or two verses a day, that videos that I'm shooting. But that one I'm doing on my own. I'm not shooting videos around them. But there was something. So I listened. There is a website, an ISKCON website, which has for each verse multiple lectures by various ISKCON members, and that is amazing. So I've just been listening to that, and I was listening to 3, 4. So I'm going to talk about that. If you want to move straight to the verse, you know the drill. Just move to the place where you can start to see the text, the screen. Okay, so what I understood from that, so verse 4, basically Arjun starts by asking in chapter 3 verse 1 and 2, like you said, Gyan Yoga is higher, and then now you're saying Karma Yoga is higher and I should fight. So which is it? Just tell me please. And then Krishna says in 3, 4 that by taking renunciation you will not achieve Siddhim, and or by renouncing. Or by not doing work. So, and then chapter 5 is, verse 5 says that we're helplessly forced to act according to our gunas, according to our material nature, prakriti gunas, modes of material nature. And every moment we're forced to act, even if we're not acting. So, what he's saying basically, what I understood, which was brilliant, is that Arjun was saying that if I do sannyas, then I'm not going to be doing any karma, which means I will not be incurring sinful reactions. So the response to that was, even by just sitting, in verse 5, even by sitting, we're forced to helplessly act, and thinking is also acting. So we are incurring sinful reactions even by thinking. And then the verse 6 goes on to say that if you are renounced, if you've taken the renounced order, excuse me, if you've taken the renounced order, but your mind is still there on the sense objects because you're not purified yet, then that's called a pretender. That doesn't work. Okay, so this whole thing just made so much more sense because I listened to a lecture, re-listened to a lecture in order to understand it. But what he was saying is that it's like being a diseased person. Let's say a person has an illness and they are in the hospital. They don't want to be in a hospital. Who wants to be in a hospital? It's so uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be there. But let's say you are because you're ill and you need to be there. So then when you are there in the hospital, you are forced to be there. I mean, it's better for you. You can leave and die anytime you want, but it's better for you to be there at the hospital and leave after you're healed enough to leave rather than go somewhere else. So you can come back home, but you are still ill. So the best place for somebody who is ill enough to be in a hospital is the hospital, whether it's uncomfortable or not. So that's how he's saying that you are ill right now because you are thinking in terms of, I want this, I need this material enjoyment. I don't want to kill my relatives. These are my relatives. This is, I don't want to enjoy the fruits of the result. Like, I don't want to enjoy the opulence. Even if I win, what is the use of it? Because I will be alone. I will not be enjoying with my relatives and my family. So all of this identification is with me. So when you get to a place where you no longer identify with your own enjoyment and you are doing everything for the enjoyment of Krishna, then you can take the renounced order of life. Because if you don't do that, then you are going to be ill. You're going to be in a diseased condition. These harsh words, huh? You're going to be in a diseased condition, but you are going to be in a renounced order of life, which is not good, because then your mind is going to be on the sense objects because you've not purified your heart and mind anyways. You've not learned how to fully 100% depend on Krishna, but you have stopped working. So then you're going to be a pretender because you're not going to be fully involved in the Krishna consciousness. Basically, you're not going to be there. So for you, it is much better to do the karma yoga rather than take sannyas, rather than take renunciation. The whole thing just made so much sense. I hope it's making sense to you as well. Okay, so let's do, I'm ready. I'm done with that now. Let's do chapter 8, verse 16 today, and let's sing it together. Abrahmabhuvanalokaः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते. Okay. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So he's saying now, from the highest planet to the lowest planet, all are places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. But if once you get to my abode, O Arjun, you will never take birth again. Okay. So now he explains, they're explaining what these higher planets and lower planets are. So let's do word by word very quickly. Um, Brahma Bhuvanat, up to the Brahmalok planet, Loka, planetary systems, Puna again, Avarinata, returning. So you will, from up to the Brahmaloka planet, you will be returning, O Arjun. But upon arriving upon me, Upetya Mam, but arriving unto me, O son of Kunti. So he's saying Arjuna and O son of Kunti, he's addressing him twice. Very sweet. Punah Janma, rebirth, never takes place. Na vidyate. So Punah Janma will never take place if you arrive at me, but up to the Brahmaloka, you will return again. So you will come back. So now he explains here that even the demigods, the higher planets, the Svarglok, they will take birth again and again, because you have to. So you have to really understand you have to really go beyond that. So now Swami Mukundanand explains it in great detail. So he's saying, okay, in all the worlds in this material creation, up to the highest abode of birth, Brahma, you will be subjected to rebirth, but on attaining my abode, there is no further rebirth. So that's very clear. Like up to Brahmalok, you will, up to the abode of Brahmalok. Okay, so now he talks about 14 worlds in our universe. Earth is one of them. Okay, so we are in the higher seven. We're in the lowest of the higher seven, and then we have lower below. So we're on the 8th position, like assuming 14th is the highest. So the higher planes are called Swarga, and he's named them Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha. Oh, that's where Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha comes in. Maha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyaha. Satyaha is the highest. So we're on Bhu. And the remaining, the lowest Nark ones are Tal, Tal, Atal, Vital, Sulal, Talatal, Lalal, I don't know, Rasatal, Patal. Okay. So other religions also, Islam mentions the Satwa Asman or the seventh sky, highest of seven heavens. We've heard that, like I'm in seventh heaven or something like that. There are other places. Okay, so the Satya Lok is the highest, Patal Lok is the lowest. These are all under the realm of Maya or material energy, and therefore we will take rebirth again and again. So we can, according to our karmas, we can keep going up and low, up and low, up and low, depending on how we do it. But we will. Okay, so another thing Chaitanya Charan Prabhu had said in one of the videos is that we think that we can manipulate nature, right? Like he was talking about the example of clouds. We can seed things into clouds that are already existing. We can't create clouds, but we can seed things into clouds with a gun, with a toy gun kind of thing, and it might rain. And people have actually states have had cloud property wars, that you didn't let this cloud come to our state and you just seeded it before that, and we didn't get rain, things like that. They've had court cases about that. So what he was saying is that the yagya, the process of yagya, like doing the fire sacrifices, is important, not because, so what science can explain is that, but it doesn't explain the why. Why is it that there is no rain? Why is it that there is rain? So the process of yagyas is meant to please the demigods, or Indra, who's the rain god, so that he can arrange all of this. He's the purpose behind it. And so God sent all of this. He sent the demigods and yagyas so that we can do our karma in a proper way. And we can do it without it also, but then we'll have to face the consequences. Maybe not immediately. Maybe, he was talking about how America is very prosperous even though they're not doing any of this yagya. But it may take time for the karmic result of the place to manifest. Okay, so so everyone, even the celestial gods, Indra has to die, and Indra has been surprised many times because he didn't know. So the Heat explains a story, and he meets people. He meets somebody, some sadhu sannyas or someone sannyasi who has been through many lifetimes of Indra, and then Indra realized, oh, I am actually not immortal. I mean, as an Indra. You can read the stories if you want to hear. Um, yeah, so Bhulok is Vedic philosophy states that on the earth or Bhulok is revolving around Swarlok, and the realm between them is Bhulok. Okay, yeah, you can read all of those details about that. So only those. Krishna states that all 14 worlds in this universe are within the realm of this Maya energy, and then there are many universes. It's like you take a mustard seed and you put it in a bag. I don't know how large of a bag, and there are as many universes as there are mustard seeds in that bag. That's the analogy that's given. So there are many, many universes. Each universe has these 14 worlds. So it's a hugely elaborate system, right? And each of them have people or living beings, basically. So yeah, once you have had, so what this is saying is once you have had that God realization and you go beyond these 14 worlds, then you will not be subjected to rebirth again. So you have to go to his abode. And Krishna is saying that very clearly. You come to my abode. My abode, up to the Brahma Lok abode, you will be taking rebirth, but my abode, you will not be taking rebirth. He's super clear about that. So if you the Gita is very clear about that. So it depends on how much. But yes. Okay, so that's it for this verse. We'll do chapter 8, verse 17 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with lots and lots of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.